I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Now this lesson is a 2 testimony dream lesson. And I'm going to read a couple scriptures to go along with those testimonies. Okay. So the first dream, and I believe these dreams were split up, but they also connect. You know, like you have a dream and then you wake up, go back to sleep and have another dream. That's pretty much how it went. So the first dream was me, Pathak, which is part of Dallas Camp, Tazamah, Sha'ar. So basically brothers within my camp. And we were in this building, you know, and it had this big windows. Now I can't say it was an airport, but it was big. Like it had like a landing, you know, it was just huge, you know, and huge windows where you could see everything. Okay, big, tall, giant windows. And we were like in this big hallway where you can, you know, sit and see somebody come if it was a plane, right? So you can understand what I'm talking about. And I was sitting there thinking with them and I was meditating and I asked myself in my head, I said, man, wouldn't it be dope if a big old giant chariot just came down? And not too long after I thought that thought, I'm looking outside through the big windows, huge windows, way bigger than us, by the way. And I see something coming in from the atmosphere, right? And it was like very like grayish, right? So at first I was like, is that a huge cloud moving like that? And as I kept looking, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. And then the other brothers that were with me, they saw it. And it was huge, man. I mean, it was so big where it was like a giant football stadium coming down. Okay, most likely way bigger than that. I'm just giving you just from my view. But I know it was way bigger than that. It was huge, man. And the brother Pathak was like, it was gray. You know what? It was silver. It was silver. So we were like, man, it was silver. It looked at gray and then it appeared to be silver. And it was so big that as it's coming down, you can tell it's like slow motion. But you can tell it's coming down fast, but in slow motion. In other words, it was so big that it looked like it was moving slow, but it was actually moving fast. It was just huge, you know, very huge. And it landed and went to the ground, not inside the ground, but it just landed. And you can see the dust and the rocks of the ground breaking up, flying in the air, you know. And then we all ran down that hallway because down the hallway, the windows were just connected. So it was windows that went down the whole hallway. So we're running on the hallway, excited, like, yeah, like, oh, that's the Lord, you know, just in that spirit, man, amazed. And as we stopped to the point where we stopped running to stand there to look at the big giant chariot, and I mean, it was huge, man. And then it started to take off back into the atmosphere. And it was big, man. And through the spirit, when I woke up and realized that I was meditating on it, I was like, wow. I was like, I got to do a testimony on this, you know, because really it was a sign, man. It was a sign that is close. It's very, very, very close. Now, before I get into a couple of scriptures, the second dream, which is very short, like that one, it was short too. I was at a restaurant with some brothers. Okay. So those brothers with me there at the restaurant. And the inside of the restaurant, it was like too many seated where you couldn't, you know, it was packed. It was crowded. So we trying to figure out, okay, like where we going to sit at? You know, where we going to sit since all the seats are taken up? And I guess a waitress was like, hey, there's a secret place over here. There's a room with seats. Y'all can go to this room and sit and eat. So we're lining up because there's a line to that room. Okay, so she sent other people to that room. And before it's time to go into that room, the guy in front of me, as he's walking in, he says, he's an older guy, probably was in his 50s, maybe 60. He goes, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. He just randomly said it. And I was behind him like, did he just say that? Random old guy. So I didn't say nothing to him. Then another guy randomly in the restaurant, didn't know, I think he was younger than that guy. He randomly said it. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. So I'm like, hold up, what's going on here? You know? And then I eventually woke up from that dream. So my point is that these dreams really connect because it lets you know that the gospel being spread through the four corners of the earth is happening right now, man. We at the end, man. This gospel is spreading, man, to the point where random people that you wouldn't think that know the name, that you wouldn't think that's going to call upon that name like that are doing it. And you don't even realize it, man. Okay? Now, let's start in the scriptures. Let's go to Luke chapter 21, starting at verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Right, with perplexity. So I know that big chariot, man, which looked like a mothership, it was huge, man. Okay? It was a sign at its time, and we at the end, because there is distress of nations and perplexity going on. Let's go to the Google definition of perplexity. It says, an inability to deal with or understand something complicated or unaccountable. Right, man. Basic confusion, man. In a state of confusion, it says right here. Okay? An entangled state. Right, man. Of confusion. Okay? Now, you can't tell me these people are not getting confused. Because when you don't know, when your hope is in this world and you see everything crumbling and falling, things changing before your eyes, which this whole COVID-19 situation is doing that, then you become confused because you don't know whether you're coming or going. You don't know what's next. I mean, you talking about the jobs going down. You talk about another shutdown. I mean, think about it. Think about how confusion is going to take place with this next shutdown. Okay? New rules, new measures being put in place for your safety. COVID-19, man. Things are about to change rapidly and big time, man. Okay? You got the elections going on. It's about to get crazy. Okay? And with that craziness, it's going to come confusion. It's going to come perplexity, which is a sign of the end. Let's go back to Luke 21. Let's read verse 25 again. And there should be signs in the sun and in the moon, which is happening, okay, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Okay, now let's go to distress definition on Google. It says extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain. Now, where does that anxiety come from? Not knowing, unsure, confusion. Just with this COVID-19 situation of the first shutdown, even where it's at right now, man, there's anxiety going on. Well, how much more anxiety, okay, throughout the world, man, because COVID-19 is worldwide. So throughout the world, how much more anxiety with this second shutdown, man? Well, more people die, okay? When they start mutating, they start putting out stronger viruses and stronger strains. And, man, it's about to get crazy, man. Because like I say all the time through the Spirit, the plagues have begun, okay? Like old Egypt, the new Egypt, Babylon, America, okay? Plagues are happening, okay? And Yahweh Shema Shai is going to crank up those plagues. So it's only going to get worse, which means it's going to be more perplexity and more anxiety, meaning more distress of nations around the world, man, especially Babylon, especially America, okay? Which is going to be hit the hardest, man. Okay, Babylon, man. Let's go back to Luke chapter 21. Let's read verse 26. Man's hearts, their minds, failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Then we gonna see it, man. Okay, so in that dream with that big giant mothership, I'll call it that, a big giant mothership came down. That's what it was, man. Okay? It was as close. Get ready. Okay? Get prepared, man. I'm coming. But before I come, it's going to be very, very great plagues. Distress, perplexity, okay? That's going to happen, man. Jacob's trouble. The worst time in history. Okay? So I know what that dream is saying. All right? Yahweh Shema Shai ain't got to come down from heaven face to face and tell me. If you're in the spirit, okay, you can catch those things if you're spiritual. All right? Verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draw nigh. So the fact that perplexity, the stress is all around the world, the plagues have begun, the gospel is going through the four corners of the earth, then we know that what? Our redemption draweth nigh. Okay? Think about that, man. That's what time it is, man. That's what time it is. Okay? Verse 29, and he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, you see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. Right, the harvest. So likewise ye, when you see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua is nigh at hand. And that's what we're telling you through the Spirit, man. Okay, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is speaking through us, through the men of the Lord, through the prophets. We're telling you it's over. We're telling you it's not going to get back to normal. It's a wrap. We at the end of the end, man. Okay? We're right here. You have to know this, man, if you're watching and paying attention. Okay? Let's go to Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, which is happening now, and then shall the end come. You have this gospel worldwide right now, man. Okay? All right? And that second short dream I had, when those random guys were saying the name, that was a sign, man. That it's getting to the point where everybody knows. And you know when that happens, it's a wrap, man. Okay? And right now, rapidly, it's moving fast. So you know that Jake's waking up every day, man. But we do know the gospel have reached the four corners of the earth. Now, the people that are around the four corners of the earth, okay, whoever is left to wake up, they about to wake up fast. Okay? Because we're at the end, man. You got to know that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16, starting at verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. But for all these things, they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right, man. Great perplexity. Okay? The confusion is going to be greater and greater and greater. All right? Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. Ooh, this famine is going to be great, man. Goodness gracious. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Oh, boy. So as you see through the Spirit, man, we're at the end, man. How many times Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has to tell you through his man that we're at the end, that it's over. Prepare yourself, man. Ain't going to be no excuses, man. When all this shit hit the fan at its max, ain't going to be no excuses, because we telling you through the Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua by Hashem Rakah Quadash. We telling you. Okay, so with that, I hope you're edified. I want to give our praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Hashem Rakah Quadash for giving me the Spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to Akamat that is doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.